talking about one of these clutch master cylinders for VW, Skoda, Seat, etc. Yeah, they're in a lot of vehicles, basically this exact one or very similar ones to it. So yeah, there are a few vids already out there on YouTube which show you, not reasonably well, how to get these off the vehicle and change one. Certainly, at least the ones I was using didn't actually go into a couple of mistakes you could easily make, and I sort of learnt the hard way. So yeah, so first thing to talk about is sourcing the part itself. The mistake which I made at one point was just getting a cheap aftermarket part off eBay, where I think it was like sub 20 quid or something. Some car parts you'll get away with it, some car parts you won't. Basically the one I got just wasn't fit for purpose. It never felt, I got it in the car, it did kind of work, but it didn't feel solid. It wasn't right. The pedal return and stuff, it was just draggy and not really working. And sure enough, I think it broke eventually. Anyway, for this thing you've got to use the proper part. Now when I was looking, I remember them being really expensive, like over 100 quid for the actual VW part. I just looked again and they look a bit cheaper now, kind of like 40 quid or so. My solution, which is the one that's still on the vehicle and has been fine, is if you go on eBay and I'll just show you the code on the thing.
Right, there we go. So yeah, if you see that code, it's like 1KO, etc. Quite a long number code. But yeah, if you search that on eBay, then you'll find scrap ones that have come off, written off vehicles or whatever. But the advantage to that is you get the high quality part. Granted, it's been used and coming off a vehicle, but it's the high quality, it's the proper part, and they're generally really cheap. And there's another advantage, which is basically this I've set up as though it's the replacement scrap part, and it comes with various, well, they just cut it off the vehicle. So I'll just come a bit closer.
This is going to the slave cylinder, so this is like a really crucial union here, but you can see they just cut it off, like the brake pipe's just cut there. And that goes off to the slave, and then the feed, again, they've just cut it off here, and that's from your hydraulic fluid reservoir, which feeds both your brakes and the clutch, and this just, yeah, again, they just cut it off. So the advantage of that is, in cutting it off, you get, I'll just show you this one, you get the extra little, like the little seal, rubber seal grommet thing, so that's handy. And then also on this, in fact this will be useful, this is what you're aiming to do to get you one off the vehicle. You need like a flat blade screwdriver, and then you're aiming to get it down there, ping this clip up like that, and then in theory it might be a bit tight, but you can pull that out then. There we go, what we're left with is that. Now you might hopefully be able to see, so this will be on your brake line, but there's this little rubber hat seal here, which is totally crucial. Very easy to lose when you take it out the car and you're in the confined space, but that just, I'll try and demonstrate, just pops on and off. So that bit, still focusing. But the advantage again, if you get one from a scrapyard, online scrapyard, then you'll get a spare one of those. So still worth being really careful, trying to maintain it, try and keep hold of it when you're popping it off out the vehicle. But yeah, basically you'll have a spare then if you get it from the scrapyard. So that's what I did, seemed to work. But yeah, just got to be really careful to not lose that when you take it out the car.
Now what actually happened with mine was the main barrel of the cylinder here, the exterior casing split. So it was just, I looked under the bonnet and could see immediately there was just hydraulic fluid spurting out the thing. So yeah, so that tells me they're not actually in my opinion, a particularly robust part, and in handling them before they're on the vehicle and this thing's actually full of hydraulic fluid, I recommend treating it pretty delicately. But you can just feel it's not the seals and the way it moves. You can tell it's just not happy dry basically. It needs fluid in there to work well. So yeah, that would be the first bit of advice, is to treat it as quite a delicate thing, and in fitting it, they're easy to break in getting the things into the pedal. Yeah, the other major mistake I made when I first fitted one of these was having watched some vids online, I didn't research it that well, to be honest, but I assumed you could just bleed these manually, whereby you get someone to put the clutch on and off, meanwhile you're under the bonnet with the bleed screw, so you kind of like using the clutch pedal to kind of fill the system and bleed the system, like the old school method really. For my opinion, for what it's worth, you just won't achieve a successful install of the clutch cylinder doing that. So you've got to get a bleed kit of some description. They're not that much. I think I got mine from Halfords or something for like 20 quid. It's like you use a valve, is it an easy bleed I think it's called. You use a valve on the tyre at about 20 psi, and you use that pressure from the tyre to bleed the system basically. And that worked. I could just tell immediately once I got it, like that works way better. It filled all the system much more convincingly.